Hello, yeah, good day. I'm Lebechi Joseph, and I'm going to be taking you on a tutorial on Project Management Professional from the PMBOK 5th edition to be precise. This is LJ Tutorials. We have a lot of tutorials on management principles and also software development like PHP for web development, HTML and CSS for web design, and also Oracle database management. So, but actually now I'll start with project management professional. Subsequently, I'll go into Six Sigma, which is a quality management. So I would advise you also watch that because it helps you ensure that whatever you're delivering is up to quality. Now, so we'll focus on project management for now. So, so I'll go to what then can we say it's a project. Now, a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to achieve a particular result. Now, a company can take up with a project, say, yeah, we are taking on this project to achieve this particular good. Yeah, we have maybe we have a software before, but now we need a new software that can perform better. Then they can take on a project. A project must also have a beginning and an end. It's not a normal day-to-day activity. I start a project. I say, okay, I'm building a house. I say in the next 6 months I should be done with the house. That's a project. It's not like the my normal day-to-day chores like mopping the ground, preparing financial statements. Those are organizational tasks. Then also, every project must have objectives or requirements. At the end of a project, you must have, yeah, this was why this project was undertaken, or why are we undertaking this project. You cannot have a project with having its objective. Then also, every project needs human resources and also some cost elements. Then also, the next thing I also want to talk about is the portfolio, program, and projects. Now, this are three conflicting terms. It's confusing many people, so I'm going to break it down now. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to achieve a product. Now, a program is a group of related projects. Now, when you bring, like in a company, when you bring projects that are similar, you can group them as a program. So now, the project manager reports to the program manager, and in turn, the program manager reports to the portfolio manager. A portfolio is all the projects in an organization. So let's go on. If you go through your PMBOK, you'll be able to see a guide, a table like this. This it tries to show the scope, change, planning, and management, success monitoring in terms of projects, programs, and portfolio. I think you should have access to your PMBOK. It would help you prepare for the exam. Now, what is project management? Now, project management, we have talked on what project is now. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, and tools to achieve a project. Now, we have set out that, okay, now our client comes and meets us, say, I want to build a house for the next 6 months. Now, I have, and my budget for the house is $2 million. Now, I have a scope, a cost baseline, I have a scope baseline, I also have a schedule baseline. Now, I'm trying to apply the knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to meet the cost that was defined for me, the schedule, and the scope. Now, also, I'll try to also meet the quality that was really agreed on. Now, the PMBOK can be summarized into two major categories: the project management processes, which I call PM processes, and the knowledge areas. The project management processes or process groups are initiation, planning, executing, monitoring, and control closing. You must have this at the back of your fingertip as a project. Where if you want to sit for your PMP exam, you get a lot of questions from this. These are your PM processes, or will later come into the knowledge areas. Now, these are things you will do before you start on a project. You must initiate. The client will say, why am I doing this project? You, the project manager, you plan the project. When your team comes on board, they're actually executing the work. Now, monitoring and control will be done by the project manager, trying to make sure that the work they are executing is in line with what was planned. Then closing is you're coming back to your clients and say, hey, I've done this work. You gave me 6 months to build a duplex. Is this the duplex you like? So now this is the PM processes. You should know them. You can use the acronym IPEMCC. So let's go on. Now the next thing is project phases. Now a client comes and meets me. I want to build a project. I want to build a duplex, and it should last for 6 months. My budget for the house is $2 million. But subsequently, he comes and say, in addition to the normal duplex you're building, can you add a penthouse on top of the building? I said, yes, but it's going to adjust this cost by $500,000. He said, fine, no problem. And also, it's going to also affect the schedule by 2 months extra. I said, okay, no problem. Now it means I'm now shifting my schedule from that's my schedule based like from 6 months to 8 months. Now I can now say, okay, fine, you won't back into the house until 8 months. Now, and that project manager might come and say, yeah, I have a better option. Now I'm going to build duplex that was agreed on earlier in 6 months. We can call that phase one of the project, and in the next 2 months we can call that phase two of the project. Phase two of the project will be the penthouse. Now the reason for doing this is so that the clients can enjoy the benefits of the phase one, which is the duplex that was agreed on earlier on. While he's living in, we can be building upon the phase two, which is the penthouse. So now you can have a project. The person brings up a specification of X, and you have an end date. When he adds more specification, which I call X prime, I also have I shift my timeline with N prime, and so on. So I can break my project into phases. Now whenever as a project manager is managing a project, he must know the requirements of this project. He can't start a project without knowing why he's doing the project, what is needful for the project. He must also address the needs of the stakeholders. Are they external stakeholders? Are the customers involved? What are their needs from the project? You should also try to maintain communication between the stakeholders. We'll deal with stakeholders subsequently within the course. So with time we'll deal more who are our stakeholders on the project. Now also we'll also try to balance the project's constraint I mean by scope. Now when we want to commence a project, we have a scope, maybe to build a duplex. Now subsequently our clients bring out we should build a penthouse. This is increasing the scope. Now as a project manager, you should be able to relate to your clients. Can this be possible? Can we maintain this baseline with this scope, with the fund available? Then also we look at quality. Quality has to do with, can we meet a particular quality defined? Will this cost? You're checking on. We'll deal with each of these in subsequent videos. Now also we try to look at schedule, budget, resources, and risks. So now we are talking about the product management office, the PMO. Now the PMO is a management structure. It's just a governance structure that tries to sit together, and most likely a group of project managers. They try to ensure that the project is going on well. Now they try to oversee what's going on with the project team. Now as a project manager, you either fall into one of these categories: the supportive, controlling, or directive. Now the supportive tries to provide best practices, templates, allows project team have access to information and lessons learned from other projects. Now the controlling handles supports compliance issues and helps to resolve issues that come up within the project. The directive takes control of the project by directing what should be done on the project. Now so we now go into the next part, which is product management, operational management, and operational strategy. Now from earlier on, I've defined what project management is. Operational management is responsible for overseeing and directing the normal business flow. Now I am assuming my task in an organization is to be preparing financial statements. Now, that is an operational task. The operational management is responsible to see that the way I'm designing or creating that financial statement doesn't affect other business processes. I'm also trying to meet a particular time frame. Those are operational management. But organizational strategy provide guidance on how operational management tasks should be done. We now look at our business value. Business value is just, it's an informal term that tries to say, yeah, this is something. This is what a project. I mean, a company is. It's what. Now, the tangible and the intangible things. So you calculate the human resources, the stock, the equity, the utility, the public benefits, the trademark, and the rest. Now, on a project, now you would be in, you as the PM, you will be responsible for satisfying the needs of your team members and the stakeholders. We will look into this as we go on with on the course. Now, there are some skills you should possess as a project manager. You should be able to lead a team. You're a manager, you should have leadership skills. You cannot do without it. You should be able to build a team. You should be able to build a team. Mr. X says he wants this, Mr. Y says he wants a different thing. You should be able to bring the ideas together and build a team. You should be able to motivate someone. Over the weekend, someone got heartbroken. You should be able to give him a reason to smile and work again in the new week. You should be able to handle communication effectively. Ensures that whoever gets the information, has the need for the information. Then you should be able to influence people, your project team members especially. You should be able to make decisions. You should also be aware about the political and cultural situations on ground. They say when you go to Rome, you should behave like the Romans. Also, you should be able to negotiate, build trust, handle conflicts, and coach. Conflicts most times would most likely arise on any project. Now, it can be between project team members, it can be between functional managers, it can also be between external entities. So, as a project manager, you should know how to handle conflicts. Now, what is needed for a project? I'm breaking down this into two. Now, this part are things a company cannot do without. Now, before a company X tries to build up a project, let's call it, okay, LG tries to build a project. Now, he must have a well-defined scope. He can not start a project when you don't know what you want to do. That's common sense. Now, I'm starting on a project. I must have a scope. Why am I doing this? I must have a sponsor. Yeah, someone with the power and authority say, yeah, I can make this your project succeed. I have the financial backing. That financial backing comes into play when we talk about the budget. Also, the sponsor should also have the will to succeed. Now, this should come from the pain. Assuming he has been using a particular IT product for a long time, a software, and along the line it says this software has some drawbacks. That is a pain he has. He's trying to better the system. So now that would result in the will to succeed. Then also on every project you need the approval from senior management. These are also some things that are needed on a project, but you can grow them, you can train, or you can buy them. Now, you might not have the technical skills, you might not have the equipment, you might not have the team, you might not have the knowledge, but you can actually train your project team members on the skills. You can buy the equipment, you can even grow your team, get people from your normal business units and train them. And also you can train your team also on the knowledge. Now, the PMPI, the PMP, and the PMBOK. Now, the PMI is Project Management Institute. It's an international organization, a non-profit organization based in US, and they have the best practices on project management. Now, this institute now, brought out a scheme of work which we call the PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. Now, this body of knowledge is what we are going to be studying. The guide is what you are going to be studying so that you can sit for your PMP exam and become a project management professional. So you should just try to understand the correlation between these three items. Now, the PMBOK, remember what PMBOK is? Project Management Body of Knowledge, defines project management into 10 major areas. Now, these 10 areas are what we call the knowledge areas. Now, we have talked about the PM processes, and I'm also introducing the knowledge areas. Okay, let me just fine. Now, the knowledge areas, we have the integration, the scope. You should be also try to make sure that you should be able to balance scope. You should also be able to ensure that time or schedule is handled efficiently. When 6 months is designated for a project, you should finish within such a time frame. Then also you should be able to handle costs, quality, human resources, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholders. Now, the idea of this tutorial is to enable you to sit for your PMP exam. Now, if you watch the series next videos, you would be able, the series of videos, you'll be able to sit for your PMP exam and pass it in one sitting. Now, the tutorial is comprehensive and the exam is 200 questions. The exam comprises of general knowledge, analysis, and application of knowledge. Now, some calculations will come out from the exam, and the pass mark is 68.5%. Now, if you follow my videos, you would be able to pass the exam on, and that's the way I designed it. Now, even the calculations in the PMBOK, they are well explained in my videos. So before you sit for the exam, if you're an undergraduate, you should have about 6,500 6 years work experience. If you're a graduate, you should have about 4 years work experience. That's what the 7,500 hours mean, and the 4,500. Also, you should have about 35 hours of PM classes. Now, the PM classes can either come from a video like this or a classroom experience. So my videos, you can use them for your classes. So thank you. This will be the end of the first tutorial. So please like the video and watch this next video. You'll be able to pass your PMP exam. Thank you.